What's up guys, before this video starts I just want to tell you real quick that we got a giveaway going on right now where you can either win 35 euros on Geek Store or 25 euros in cash. So there are two prizes. It's our 100 subscriber giveaway, and if you want to join this it's really easy. You just gotta be a subscriber of the channel, then you go into the 100 subscribers giveaway video and comment something down below to participate. So if you're not stupid, do that right now and have a good time watching. Goodbye. What's up guys? Today we're speaking about the Arkham games. Arkham Asylum, if we're being extremely, well, polite. No, that's not the right word. If we're being extremely... If we're being specific, there we go. Okay, so we're speaking about Arkham Asylum today, and we're going to do a review. As most of you know, I've been doing streams of the Arkham games for a few weeks now, and we're done with the Arkham Asylum game, so I was thinking, why not make a review of it? It's Batman related, it's a fun game, it's one of the best games. It's definitely the best superhero games that are ever made. So why not? Let's go. So this video is going to be set up in 3 different areas. We're going to have the spoiler-free review, we're going to have the in-depth review, and we're going to have the followers slash fans slash members of our Discord type of like their opinions on the game. Make sure to join our Discord. The link is in the bio of our video. We have like 180 members, and so many of them are active, like daily, and speak. And we got a really nice moderator. Shout out to Aover. And also we got a really nice mechanic. Shout out to Jesper. We're just a bunch of Batman fans who just simply hangs out. It's really nice. I think you would appreciate it. Done with the promotion. Let's go. Okay, so now we're going to speak about it spoiler-free. And I think this is a pretty hard thing to do, because when you speak about the game, you want to speak about the plot. And that's actually what I'm going to do first, but in a more like spoiler-free way. First of all, I want to say that the plot is very strong, and it fits very well with the character of Batman. It's really hard to not speak about the plot, even though it's going to be spoiler-free. So I'm going to speak about the beginning of the game. So this is not like a huge plot for the entire storyline. And so we're starting the game with Batman catching the Joker once and for all. Or, well, not really, he probably escapes in like 10 minutes, but whatever. He catches the Joker, he meets the Warden, he meets James Gordon, you know, all of these nice characters. And we get to hear Kevin Conroy as Batman. He's voicing Batman, of course. And that's amazing. That's just like... There's like 3 reasons right there just to play the game. And the Joker escapes. He's planned this. Batman is a bit suspicious that he's never catched the Joker this easy before. So he thinks that something is weird. Something is odd. Something is off. And yes, it is. The Joker escapes from his captivity and takes over the asylum. More of that I won't get into, but it's incredible. The Joker is voiced by Mark Hamill, and that's also like a billion reasons to just you know, play the game, because Mark Hamill's voice acting is incredible. It's fucking amazing. It is. And through the game you meet a lot of different other villains, like Harley Quinn, we meet Poison Ivy, Victor Sass, we meet Bane, and we kinda meet Riddler. I don't know. There are Riddler trophies in the game, which is more or less just annoying shit, if we're being honest. However, that's all I'm going to speak about the plot. Now we're going to move on to combat. The combat system in the Arkham games is really nice. It's very smooth. It's not like... I wouldn't say that it's complicated in anyhow, since more or less all you do is fight and counter. Wakanda forever! And that's mostly everything you do in the game. But there's also... like, there is certain characters, or not really characters, but there are certain inmates that have special abilities or special gadgets. For example, like an electroshock thing, like he got a stick, he can, you know, like the Nightwing sticks, he more or less got one of them, and he hits you and you get electrified. So you gotta jump over him to beat him down, or you will get shocked. And then we got people with knives, you maybe have to stun them. And then we got people with guns, you have to take them down by stealth. You know, a bunch of those things, which makes it feel refreshing. It doesn't feel like you have to do the same thing all over again, which is really nice. Yeah, I think that's all we can say about the combat, really. It's not much to discuss. There's upgrades during the way for the combat, for the health, and for gadgets. And that more or less makes it easier for you to make critical hit when it comes to combat. Some gadgets like go on automatic or whatever, like if you put down explosive gel, for example, which is a gadget you get pretty early in the game, you can upgrade it so it explodes automatically if there comes villains or bad guys around it. So there is not really much to say, but there is upgrades during the way, and this is something that the series build on more on later on when we come to City and Arkham Knight. However, now we're going to speak a little bit about the map. I don't think there's too much to say really, but it's a nice map, it's a good one. It feels very nice just to be in Arkham, and it's exactly what in a comic book universe, it's exactly what I want to see Arkham like. There's this entire island which is built on like 3 different districts, I'd say, and we got you know like just different buildings, like a hospital, and here we got the mental institution, here we got the garden, you know, like there's a bunch of different parts of the map, and they all feel very different from each other, which is really nice, I'd say. Yeah, that's about it. Now I think we're going to speak a little bit about the boss fights, and we're not going to speak too much about it in the spoiler free, but we're going to speak a lot more about it in the in-depth version or part. But the boss fights in the game are a bit weak, if I could say so, and that's my opinion at least. But they are all very different from each other, which also makes it feel very nice and very genuine. So I don't think you will mind them at all when you play the game. They're really nice, I'd say. Just so you know. Hopefully I've made your mind clear and you're going to download the games and play them, because they are very incredible games, and I think that at least most people would enjoy them, if I'm being honest. It's very nice. Now we're going to move on to the more in-depth version, where we're going to speak more about the plot, the weaker spots, the stronger spots. We're going to speak a little bit more about the characters and a little bit more about the boss fights, and I think that's about it. But let's go. Okay, moving on. First off, I want to speak a bit more about the plot. I think the plot in this game is very nice, and during the entire game, I feel like it got a good feeling. Like you feel like you are in an, you know, Arkham institution, like mental ill institution, which is the exact feeling which I like, because it makes it feel like this horror game, but it's not really scary. Oh my god. Ah, just die. Oh my god. Oh my god. Sometimes it is, which I enjoy a lot. I think that's amazing. And the plot itself is very nice. And I think it sticks very good to the characters of Batman and Joker. And I guess the ending is the weakest spot of the entire arc, the story, whatever you want to call it. But it's not bad in any way. I feel like the ending was something that sticked to the character of Joker. Like, I don't give a fuck, and then, you know, just shoots himself, injects himself with this virus. It feels like something he'd definitely do. And Batman jumping in front of Gordon to save him, that's also something I feel like Batman would do at any time. So I think it's a good ending, but I think it's the weakest point in the game, because it felt like the boss fight was a bit weak and boring even, and when you completed it you were like, oh okay, that's it. But like you were still hyped because the entire game as it is really good. So that's that. I also want to speak a little bit more about the boss fights, like I said, and the boss fights themselves I think is very good. And I think they're getting better in the series as it goes on, you know, with Origins, and Origins got the best ones indeed, and Knight has some good ones, I'd say, and Arkham City got some good ones as well. But I think these ones were a good base for the games. Like the Scarecrow ones, I like a lot, since they're not really boss fights. They're more or less, you know, a fight between you and your mentality, kind of. You don't really fight Scarecrow, you fight yourself, or more or less you fight the fear toxin. So you fight your I don't know how to quote it, but you more or less fight your mind, which I think is a really cool concept. And the fact that you beat Scarecrow is kind of, I don't know, I just like it. I just do. Yeah, the Scarecrow one is definitely one of my favorites, and I think that most of them are pretty good. The one with Ivy isn't bad in any way. It's a bit weird. Maybe it's more memorable than, or like, it's more that you remember it and you feel like, oh, that was kind of iconic, but it's not like the best fight in the series, if you say it like that. It's decent, it works, it's not bad. I think that's what I'm trying to say. The ones with Bane, they work, but they don't really fit with his character, or it's one fight with Bane. Since in Arkham Asylum, I think his brain has been fried or something, so I guess it works, but it doesn't. That's not the Bane I want to see. You know, I want to see the. I want to see the Bane from the animated series and from The Dark Knight Rises. You know, the smart Bane. I don't want to see Batman Forever, or is it Batman Forever? Batman and Robin, I think it is, or one of them. I don't want to see the Batman and Robin Bane. He's a fucking moron, to be honest. And that's not the Bane I know. That's not the Bane most of us know, because that's not Bane. That's not how he works. Yeah, so I think that sums it up, most of it. Like the boss fights, they were good, but they weren't. It was mostly a cool feeling to stand in front of the villains than being a cool boss fight, if you say it like that, I guess. But to sum it up, in my opinion, and this is just like a small summary of everything, the Arkham Asylum game is a perfect game. It got some weak spots, but all games got weak spots. If you dig deep enough in any game, you will find weak spots. And I just mentioned them because I don't want to sit down and be like, oh, it's the perfect game. Even if I think it's the perfect game, I think it's exactly what an Arkham game should be like, or a Batman game in general. And that's what I want. If, let's say that, you know, let's say Ben Affleck actually get to write his, you know, Batman movie and do it, I would like him to take Arkham Asylum and just copy paste it into a movie, because it was such an amazing, you know, thing to just watch. It was really good, and it felt like exactly the type of storytelling I want to see in Batman. So I think it's a perfect Batman game with a few flaws, but for God's sakes, it's 13 years since it came out, and it's pretty much, you know, like set down the basis for what a superhero game will be like. I mean, it's pretty obvious that this Spider-Man game took like pretty heavy inspiration from the Batman Arkham games, which they did completely right as well. Like, I mean, it's fantastic games, and you should definitely take inspiration from it. So yeah, I think it's an amazing game, and I'd probably rate it like 9 out of 10. I think it's the second best game in the series. Personally, I think that Arkham City is the best game, and we're going to have a review about that in the future as well, so make sure to check that out when it comes out. And we're going to stream Arkham City next as well, just so y'all know. Yeah, but now we're going to move on to what some of the followers of our channel and our Instagram and the members of our Discord think about the series. So let's do that right away. Okay, so we didn't get too many comments. We got 3 comments and 1 voice message from Batfanbrett, and we got the text from El Taco, Nugget, and Crane. So first of all, we will read out their comments, and then we will listen to a guy who's been here before, which is Batfanbrett, and to what he got to say about the game. So here we go. So first of all, we got El Taco here, who says that he loves the game. And then after El Taco, we got Crane, who got some really good points and perspective on the game. So this is what Crane has to say. So Crane says, about Arkham Asylum, what I liked was the casting choices. The overall feel of the game when you played it. The atmosphere was amazing. I found that for Rocksteady's first game, it was done really well. If you look at the other games before it, they were nowhere as near the way it worked and looked. So I feel like Rocksteady set the benchmark for Batman games to come, and if not all games to come in the future. It also had a spooky factor, as well being in an asylum with lunatics who would jump out of nowhere or poison Ivy's plants. Horror games are meant to haunt you psychologically, and I feel like it had that factor to it, because you would look around every corner and wonder if there would be any lunatics around there. I feel like it had a really clever way of adapting as you went on in the game, like missions. It would be harder, or you have to defeat more of those giant thugs that were on Bane's Venom. I found it cool that they had a bat cave you could go to and relax for 5 minutes if you were stressing out on the game as well. I also loved how they teased the next game too, and how in Arkham City there were lunatics hanging on the ceiling in Ra's al Ghul's area to show that Hugo Strange did experiments. So like how the games are all connected. That's my opinion. Okay, so next up we got a comment from Nugget here, who says, Arkham Asylum. Arkham Asylum is the perfect start to an amazing era of video games.
Let's not talk about the X-Men Destiny.
But the atmosphere in it isn't like anything I've ever seen before in a video game. You can hear the insane inmates of the asylum scream and howl in the background while the rain hammers down. It can be really disturbing at times. The boss fights against the Titans are perfect, as Batman has to use all of his wit and very cool gadgets to survive the attacks. But to sum it up, the combat is satisfying. The graphics were amazing for its age. The story was well written, and the detail was nothing less of what you would expect of Rocksteady. I'll give the game a solid 9.7 out of 10. I think I've done. And the only reason I give it 9.7 is because how the Titan Joker looked. It was very blocky for me.
Batman Arkham Asylum takes what we're used to seeing in a Batman story and flips it on its head. We're always used to seeing Batman fight his villains in his world that he's used to being in, which is Gotham City. But in Batman Arkham Asylum, he's placed in his villain's world, trapped on an island filled with nothing but insanity and horror, now taken over by his greatest enemy, the Joker. Putting Batman in Arkham Asylum gives this game a feeling of unpredictability, as you go through each building not knowing which villain you're going to run into. Every time you run into a villain, it's shocking, in some cases scary, like all the levels with the Scarecrow. That's another thing about Batman Arkham Asylum that I think a lot of Batman material is missing. It's genuinely scary at times. The atmosphere and lighting of the game helps create that feeling as well. Rocksteady was able to capture a grounded, gritty, realistic feeling, but the way they chose to color grade the game and design the characters still makes it feel like a comic book. But the game also doesn't stray away from being a bit silly and goofy at times. To me, all the best Batman stories are the ones that you can still take seriously even if they do jump the shark a little bit, which is why the ending with the giant Joker doesn't bother me that much. I must say, this game delivers in the fan service as well, in the best way. Each of the villain tapes has its own story where we can see how each villain interacts with their doctors. The Dr. Young character is particularly interesting, as we find out more about her through the villain's tapes and the villain's perspectives. But the best is the Joker and Harley Quinn's interactions through the tapes. It's almost word for word the same backstory we see for Harley Quinn in the animated series episode Mad Love. You can thank Paul Dini, the writer, for that one. This game is filled with great Easter eggs like that, not to mention the bone-chilling Chronicles of Arkham secrets where we unravel the story of Amadeus Arkham. The resolution to that story is one of the most unsettling things I've experienced in a Batman story. Above all else, Batman Arkham Asylum is the Batman game that I think delivers the most on keeping everything scaled back to tell a personal story that keeps building and building into something far greater than just your average superhero game.
I also come with some news in this video about our giveaway. We're going to show the winner in our next video, which is going to be a review of Batman Begins from 2008, made by Christopher Nolan. Just so you all know. And in this video we're going to, as I just said, show who the winner of our giveaway is. So I hope you all are looking forward to that. I'm sorry that it will take another week. That's just because we've both been a bit busy, and I made this video and I don't want to do the giveaway reveal without Liam by my side, so we're going to wait another week, and I hope you all are fine with that. If you haven't joined the giveaway, it's a perfect moment to do so. All you have to do is being a subscriber of the channel and go to that one video and comment something down below if you want to be a part of the giveaway. So do that right away. My name is David Miranda and this has been Batman Arkham Asylum review. Hope you all enjoyed it and that you will leave a subscribe and a like and some feedback down below, and that I will see you in the next video. Also, thank you to Batfanbrett, Nugget, Taco and Crane once again for helping me out with this video. I don't think it would have been this awesome if you guys wouldn't have been in it. So thanks to you guys again. You guys are awesome. If you're not a part of our Discord, make sure to join it. Link in the description. Have a nice day. Bye.